The story follows Ayano. She's an elementary school teacher who, after a long day at work, finally has time to herself and chooses to enjoy spending that time drinking at a bar she occasionally goes to. And one of the other patrons strike up a conversation as they casually talk about miscellaneous stuff. One drink leads to another, and the other woman hits on her, asking if Ayano swings that way, which she vaguely isn't sure about. Nonetheless, they have a good time drinking and leave together, just to end up at another bar and drinking even more, before then finally having had enough to drink. Where, outside, the other woman straight up asks for a kiss. And in that moment, Ayano grabs her by the collar and gives her that kiss, it being reciprocated in return, before separating and gaining some post kiss clarity, realizing so late that they're not even at the bar anymore. Rather, it's also super late into the night. So, the other woman offers Ayano to go to her place, which Ayano goes along with. While inside, Ayano realizes she did something pretty crazy, kissing a woman she barely just met whose name she doesn't even know. That woman says her name is Hirayama Akari, and she doesn't want this to be a one-time thing, asking Ayano if they can see each other again. And as the moment sinks in, Akari gives her another kiss, which Ayano reciprocates in kind this time, causing Akari to lose her balance, surprised that Ayano is really into this. As the night sinks in, and they promise to meet again some other day. So, fast forward 1 week later, Akari, who works at that same bar they meet at, sees Ayano again, but accompanied by a man, which Ayano makes clear is her husband. Someone she did not tell her about despite that what they did that night. So, cheating. Not NTR cheating, just normal cheating with messed up yet realistic adult characters. So, don't expect melodramatic things like My Girlfriend Is Not Here Today. The Yuri in question is Even Though We're Adults by Takako Shimura, well known mangaka of another Yuri manga, Aoihana, and trans manga, Wandering Suns. And she's at it again, but with a unique josei Yuri this time. Rare, meaning it's for older women, and the subject matter shows. Even though we're adults, deals with like cheating, marriage, and coming to terms with your sexuality, all at the age of 35. So the problems faced in it are going to be quite alien compared to high school hijinks of most Yuri. And given what YouTube says about my audience, not exactly the age range for most of you watching. For those reasons, it's seldomly talked about in the Yuri community, not helped by the fact that most of the characters are simply unlikable. They're flawed, but in a grounded way, yet doesn't help make them any less palatable. Not helped by the fact that Ayano is being pretty trashy, screwing over her husband, who she cheated on, and screwing over Akari, who she's cheating with. If you can endure those aspects, the story provides a well-written, painful experience for everyone. And as cheating stories go, this can only go downhill from here. You'll see. So, laying at home, Akari decompresses while reflecting on what she learned at work. She fell for and made out with a married woman. She asked if Ayano's a lesbian, checked her ring finger for prior commitments, and pretty clearly, Ayano kissed her first. Her thoughts, however, are interrupted by Ayano, messaging her an apology. Not wanting to check it, but giving in and checking it anyways. Ayano's apology is also filled with yearning toward Akari, a feeling mutually shared by Akari after that night. So, despite knowing Ayano's married, she asks if they can still meet up again. Something Ayano badly wants, In response, Akari can't help contradictorily being upset about, yet nonetheless happy to have gotten. A later day comes and they meet up again at a cafe to talk, to see if this relationship can even work out. The two main concerns brought up are that, well, Ayano's married, a pretty fair issue, and Akari has bad prior experience with bisexual women. Meaning, really, both issues depend on Ayano. Even when Ayano doesn't fully understand the emotion she holds for Akari. The day they met was the first time she ever felt this way, a feeling so strong she wants to see it through no matter what happens. So, to reassure Akari, Ayano declares she's going to come clean to her husband and tell him she's cheating on him. In action, Akari reminds her that if she picks going down this route, it's going to be really cruel. And later, at home, while Ayano looks at her husband, she reminisces the past. She didn't want a relationship early or late 20s, but hitting dirty alongside Japanese social expectations for marriage, she did find a man that she actually liked eventually. And before she knew it, they were married soon after. Yet now, 5 years later, she just doesn't feel the same way anymore. Sunday morning comes, and her husband's mother pays a visit, here to give Ayano a gift for her upcoming birthday, as she's soon turning 36 years old. So, as a friendly reminder that the area is a great view, perfect for a family, she's not getting any younger, after all. So, still no kids? This isn't the first time Ayano's had to be asked. Even her husband wanted kids, so she agreed, wanting it too. But despite trying, they never could conceive. There are probably various factors, but ultimately nature did not want to bless them. Anyways, her mother-in-law leaves and her husband wakes up. She prepares some breakfast for him as they joke about his mother being a busybody, before making some coffee and enjoying their Sunday together, watching some TV on the couch. You know, just standard marriage life stuff. Oh, and also, Ayano asked her husband if he likes anyone at work. You know, romantically speaking, as he just stares at her. Ayano only brings this up because, hear it is, at some bar, she met a woman and caught some feelings. Funny how things just happen like that, right? Right? No, you didn't find that funny at all. And I mean, what was Ayano expecting? It's not like they're polyamorous. She just dropped relationship ending. No, a marriage ending bombshell casually. The sad part is, I'm not even sure I can blame her given there's no tutorial in life about admitting you're a cheater. Like, most cheaters hide the fact and live happily as if it never happened. Others get caught and all hell breaks loose. So honestly, maybe I should give a reward for just saying it up front. And now, we get to see a man's life crumble, all for our enjoyment. So, new day. Wataru wakes up from a truly horrid nightmare. In it, his wife romantically likes some other person. Crazy stuff, I know. Oh look, there's his wife now, apologizing for stabbing him in the heart yesterday, affirming that it was no nightmare, but reality itself. He has no words. I mean, literally. The following dozen panels is just him wordlessly doing his job, then going home and taking a shower. After that, he notices his wife on her phone and asks if she's texting the woman she likes. Ayano says yeah, and that they're invited to a barbecue. She was going to refuse, but Wataru says they should go. And so they do. He doesn't really know what he's expecting to happen or what he wants to accomplish by letting them meet. He just wants to see things with his own eyes, the reality of his situation. Like, does the other woman even know Ayano likes her? The situation is just such a mess. Ayano even goes ahead and introduces him to her, but he's too frustrated, annoyed, confused. Like, does she know his wife likes her? If she likes his wife back? Is this already a mutual thing between them? Maybe the answer is obvious, but he just lets it all out and takes his wife to leave. Ratu clears his mind while they walk home. He wanted to live his whole life with Ayano, but it's clearly they don't feel the same way. That she's not happy by his side anymore. As they walk home in silence. The next day comes, and Wataru's mom pays another visit, surprised that her son is sleeping on the couch. Not only that, Wataru and Ayano are acting strange, as if something happened between them and things aren't going well. Well, Wataru breaks it that they might be getting a divorce, catching her by complete surprise. Ayano even says it's her fault. She explains meeting Akari, liking her, and even having kissed her. Mother-in-law proposes they should just move in with her to grow back closer. It's not like Ayano had an affair with a man. Affection and kissing between women isn't even such a big deal. They're gonna getting overworked up for nothing. There's no reason to divorce a perfectly good marriage over this. Ayano just needs to remember what's best for the family, accept that it was a simple mistake, and move on. So the process of moving in with her mother-in-law begins. Ayano has some coffee with her sister, Kaede, while asking her for help. Her sister being quite confused why Ayano went along with her mother-in-law's demand. Unless that is, she feels guilty over something. So, at the apartment, Ayano gets refreshments while her sister continues to help pack. Kaede taking the opportunity to talk to Wataru and can't help but apologize on her sister's behalf. Rather than an apology though, he rather she pay a visit to Akari to get a bit of revenge for him. Kaede is curious anyway, so she decides to check it out, arriving at the bar and asking the pretty lady if she knows Ayano. Her reaction making it clear it's her. But Kaede doesn't want trouble, just visiting as a sister for curiosity. For Akari though, this symbolizes the second time she's been confronted. She calls Ayano telling her about the impromptu visit. Even if they weren't rude, she's still being treated like a criminal when all she did was fall for her. Not knowing she's married at the time because Ayano hid it from her. So if she's serious about this, Ayano should take responsibility for her feelings, to come over right now and comfort her when she's upset. Akari hangs up and allows herself to cool down a bit. After a while, she reflects that it was fairly pushy of her to demand the visit so late into the night. She can't even understand why she likes Ayano so much. Maybe it's Destiny's test, all the messed up things Ayano and her must go through for them to be together. And a new trial at her door is Ayano like she asked for. Akari didn't think she'd actually come this late at night. It was an unreasonable demand made out of heightened emotions. Ayano, though, came to make things clear with Akari. She likes her so much that she'd come if asked. She'd want nothing more than to just throw herself at Akari. Enough was said though. The time for words is over, as Akari pulls Ayano in, sharing a kiss before separating. Ayano simply just does not play fair with her feelings. Meanwhile, Wataru waits for his wife to finish her business. After a bit, Ayano does show up eventually, as he jokes if she finished declaring her love. To no denial. A silence ensues, broken up by Ayano apologizing and stating she wants to go through with a divorce. So, this is how their 5-year marriage ends. She cheated on him, broke their wedding vows, and now tosses him aside for her happily ever after with Akari. Frankly, no. He doesn't get to have her way so easily. He's entitled to some revenge, right? That's why he's refusing to divorce. Well, things are getting quite messy. So I'm gonna stop here, partly because the video is already quite long, and if you got to this point and are interested, you can only find out more by going through Even Though We're Adults and reading it yourself. In fact, just recently, as of February 11, the final volume of the manga was released in English. So, in line with all the other series I've covered, this is a completed work you can read from start to finish. Advertising the series aside, I want to spend the remaining time in defense of Ayano. Okay, so hear me out. She's pretty messed up cheating in the first place, but she was honest with her cheating and never hid it from her husband. Was upfront with her changed interest and clearly wanted it to end with her husband. But of course, why did she even bother marrying Wataru if her commitment was so flimsy, half-assed? Well, I would try to reason that I think that some of the fault lies in Japanese's social expectations to marry, for always pressuring single people who are older and older without a relationship or marriage prospects. I don't know, when in her 20s to her 30s, probably felt that from family, friends, or co-workers, leading her to shotgun a relationship/marriage with Wataru, seeming just because he seemed like a nice guy. That's not the only thing though. A bit of spoilers for the later chapters, but Ayano also expresses her growing feelings back in high school towards her best friend, who is a girl. She didn't have the words to describe it, nor the commitment to truly understand those feelings, because liking another girl just wasn't socially acceptable back then. Even in the current day Japan, it's still iffy. Ayano basically repressed her bisexuality for decades, and accumulated and exploded a whole new world of feelings when she fell for Akari. Her didn't feel like pressure or obligation. It was her own raw emotions and choice this time, such that she did everything to hold on to it, even if it burned a lot of people along the way. Which certainly doesn't justify her cheating, don't get me wrong, but understanding why things came to that point helps us at least empathize. Also, let me just throw some shade all around. A lot of the other characters did messed up stuff too. Ayano's sister became unnecessarily nosy and made Akari uncomfortable. Wataru's mother pressured Ayano and Wataru to move in so that they can get closer together again, and also dismissed Ayano's affair to try to force the marriage to work out anyways. Even Akari, which is not her fault at the beginning at least, after she continued pursuing Ayano knowing she's married, that's just kind of being a homewrecker. And lastly, Wataru, he's not innocent either. He's getting the rawest end of the deal, don't get me wrong, but he dragged his mother to pin her against Ayano and sent Kaede to Akari, making her uncomfortable. And lastly, the ending part that I ended on is when he decided to get revenge by denying the divorce with Ayano. That last one being pretty majorly messed up when you understand how Japanese divorce works. Like, for example, in the United States, we have a thing called unilateral no-fault divorces, meaning for any reason whatsoever, you can just divorce. And only one person in the relationship needs to request a divorce for it to happen. In Japan, to divorce, both parties must agree to it. And in the case someone refuses, like Wataru, it complicates things. If Ayano wants that divorce, she's going to have to try something else, which the next legal step is to do arbitrated divorce, which is asking the court for a mediator to help reach an agreement for divorce with the other partner. The problem being, it will fail because Wataru will just deny any of the terms placed to try to get a divorce, therefore refusing that divorce still. This would then have to force Ayano to the last step, which is divorce by trial, which results in requiring her to convince the court that she has a good reason to divorce, which is something that's not easy to do when she's the cheater in this situation, and Wataru has never abused her, and he isn't dead, and not loving her anymore doesn't fly as a valid reason either. So, the only realistic option she has that could possibly work in court is an argument of separation, meaning she will have to have not lived with Wataru for years. And a bit of spoilers, if you're still at this point, Ayano picks this route. She estimates her case, she would need like 5 years of separation minimum to even be considered for divorce approval. So basically, Wataru can hold their marriage status hostage for 5 years if he wanted. That's the effect of the kind of revenge that he's doing by not agreeing to divorce Ayano. Like, yeah, Ayano is screwing over their 5-year marriage. Actually, it's like 6 years since his birthday. But it's also pretty messed up to pay that back with a 5-year revenge. Just saying. Messed up. Not good, not cool. Anyways, okay, tangent over. That's all I want to get on my chest. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and stay up to date with my weird Yuri recommendations. And I hope to see you next time. I'm gonna go get some water. Also, here's a Yuri meme. Bye.